Don't be left out, friend. Tap subscribe, hit the bell. When next food is ready, you'll be among the first to eat.
Love your life? Well, regardless of what your answer is, we bring to you today 9 countries to avoid if you want to live long on Earth. We can't ignore the fact that our environment affects us in many ways. Its people, customs, the government, political ideologies, and disasters, whether natural, environmental, and what have you. Because we know you wouldn't want your life to be cut short suddenly, we decided to enrich you with this knowledge. We run through a list of 9 countries you should run away from, at least for the long now, to enjoy your lovely life. And if in any way you are fearless and you still want to visit, this is what you need to know. Come with me. Number 9, Georgia, also called Sakatrelo. Georgia is at the intersection of Asia and Europe. It has a population of about 4 million inhabitants. Looking for a country to move to? Not Georgia, please. Factors guaranteed to cut short life in Georgia include bad air quality all year round, lots of beggars, aggressive and hungry stray dogs. The country roads and infrastructure are in bad shape. There are terrains of all kinds, snowy mountains, sandy beaches, desert-like flatlands, rocky hills, lush forests, and it's as if you are bombarded as 85% of Georgia is mountains. Tosheti has one of the most dangerous roads in the world, and many Georgia's roads are unpaved, and 13 out of 1,000 Georgians die per given time. Many of the conditions will be difficult to accustom to, and so we highly advise that you don't even go close to Georgia. 8. Latvia. Want to go to Latvia? Better not if you love long life. Latvia is a country on the Baltic Sea between Lithuania and Estonia with a population of about 2 million people. Crime is evenly spread and is abundant in all manifestations: organized crime, corruption, economic crime, narcotics, trafficking, illegal migration, etc. The roads are riddled with potholes and it can be extremely cold there. Many think, most visitors, that Latvians are extremely rude, but there is no indicator to measure this. The hospitals are pretty bad and the probability of death is as high as 15 persons per 1,000. 7. Lithuania. Lithuania is a country in Baltic Europe with a population of roughly 3 million people. It is surrounded by Latvia, Belarus, Poland, Russia, and Sweden. In Lithuania, corruption is high. Suicide rate is at the highest, including alcohol consumption. Indigents are completely dissatisfied with living conditions and are leaving the country. So why would you want to go there? Lithuanians view money, accomplishments, and wealth as supreme for respect and regard. There's a lot of bullying, more educated people talking down less educated ones, wealthier people looking down on customer service people, unfriendly luxury shop staff, quickly scanning your appearance and judging that you aren't well dressed to spend, and the list goes on. Lithuania has 16 people dying per 1,000, and it's one of the highest mortality rates in the world. Romania. Romania is the 12th largest country in Europe with 19 million people. This is at 2021. It has one of the highest poverty rates in the European Union. Many people smoke tobacco here, and so you shouldn't be surprised by the preponderance of death by heart disease. Apart from being a country with mostly rural life, Romania is mostly a barren land. The roads and landscape are horrible. Dracula Castle is overrated. The villages and seaside are in a mess. The architecture is old and ugly. The man-made sculptures are unimpressive. The landscapes are boring. Going to the seaside is not even worth it. Hiking is a terrible idea. No natural wonders or cultural events are in Romania. There are no impressive buildings and all the villages look the same. Even though people who can live as long as 76 years on the average year, 15,000 Romanians on average die in a given 1 million, which is pretty high. Lesotho, also known as Kingdom in the Sky, because of how high on land the country is situated. It is a country locked inside South Africa. It has a population of a little over 2 million people. Frost, droughts, floods, strong winds, and heavy snowfalls are known to hit Lesotho. Violent and petty crimes are also common. Gun-related crimes and break-ins have targeted foreigners. Drinking tap water is not advisable, and only thoroughly cooked hot foods should be eaten. HIV/AIDS prevalence is at 25% of adults, and it adds to tuberculosis, another major health challenge. Unemployment is at 45%, and the internet is very slow. Life expectancy is at 55 years. That is, people in Lesotho live to 55 years on the average. And the worst of it all, Lesotho experiences 14 deaths per 1,000 people. You want to live long on earth? Lesotho is a no-no. Number 4, Italy. Aha, and so what? But Italy makes the list. Italy is a country in southern Europe, but it is also a part of Western Europe. It is the third most populous country in the European Union. It has about 60 million inhabitants, with Rome as its capital and largest city. Crime in Italy is high, with at least 93 mafia-type associations striving there. Close to 1 million robberies and thefts were recorded between 2020 and 2021, 54.8% of them occurring in open road or broad daylight. The prison in Taranto is also overcrowded with double its capacity. Yes, the Pope stays somewhere in the Vatican within Italy, but it is what it is. Italy's traffic is a nightmare. Drivers in Italy are very rough. They are not used to sharing the road with pedestrians, and this leads to dangerous accidents. Pollution caused by exhaust fumes is a topic for another day. Air pollution, particularly serious in areas like Po Valley and Taranto, causing cancer rates to be 30% higher than average. Italy is still going through economic woes and it has had zero GDP growth over the years. The stagnancy manifests in the struggling economy, lack of work, and hopelessness in the young people. The number of people who smoke in Italy is so high, and you could catch asthma from the externality effect. Italy also has a high mortality rate of 14 deaths per 1,000 people. Italy? Yes, don't go there. Number 3, Russia. Russia is the largest country in the world by area, occupying roughly 1/8 of the earth. Its population is about 146 million, with a very unpopular leader who, with the sum of his actions, has made himself an enemy of a few superpowers. It must be very difficult to be Russian or live in Russia right now with the war on Ukraine, as the smallest of actions across the line could slip us into World War III. Let's not talk of Putin's autocratic leadership style, the manipulations that has plunged Russia into repression. Russia has now been cut off from the greater world, and its inhabitants no longer have access to all the resources they used to. Ordinary citizens of Russia can no longer reside in the EU for more than 90 days. Isolating the consequences of the war on Ukraine, Russia's crime rate is high, with internet hacks on the rise. Life expectancy is low compared to other countries in its stride, and its mortality rate is 15 per 1,000 Russians. Number 2, Ukraine. Ukraine is a country between Russia and Central Europe. What has it not been known for? The most corrupt nation in Europe, heightened even this year 2022 with the dismissal of senior officers even during its war with Russia. Number 2, Ukraine is currently in a war with Russia, and as at 31st March of 2022, 3,000 civilians have been killed or injured, 6.5 million are internally displaced, and 4 million have been forced to flee to neighboring countries. So going to Ukraine should not even be an option. And then we come to the country you need to avoid most if you want to live long on earth: Bulgaria. Bulgaria has a population of 7 million people and is bordered by Turkey, Greece, Macedonia, Serbia, Romania, and the Black Sea. It has a well-educated workforce, but yet the poorest country in the EU, with the highest share of population at risk of poverty. It is the oldest country in Europe, and so it is ironical that this country should be number 1 country you should run away from if you want to live longest, right? I'll tell you more. The Bulgarian medical system is the worst in the EU. It is usually not strange finding doctors smoking during consultations. Almost anyone smokes despite laws against it. And then we have the rakia, a very strong homemade alcohol. Corruption is high, from the corridors of power to the commons and in schools. Students can buy grades from professors. There's even a list for how much it costs to have an A, and so on. Can you imagine? Power goes off sporadically. Then there are rusty buildings, peeling paint on most, bus drivers smoking and talking on phone at the same time. Bulgarians are leaving their country And stats has it that one person dies every 11 minutes. It was also referred to at one time as the EU's most unhappy country. Press freedom is the worst in the EU, and it is called the black sheep of the EU due to lack of it. There is no challenge to the state's monopoly on the use of force in Bulgaria. Social housing, quality transport infrastructure, access to health services, garbage collection and permanent water supply are non-existent or poorly maintained. Freedom of expression is on a decline, and Bulgarians are among the most dissatisfied in the EU with their government. And to cap it all, Bulgaria has the highest debt in the world per 1,000 people. Don't say you have not been warned. Any thoughts on this list? Please use the comment section below.
You subscribe yet? If no, you have another chance. Until one next, it's back to the kitchen. Peace.